you might have gathered from the intro, I recently went to Malta for a family holiday, but while I was there I did do a little bit of photography and I got a few photographs that I really like, so I thought I would share them with you guys. I took the Panasonic GX80, that was the only camera I used for all of this, which is currently $399 with Panasonic cashback, so very affordable little camera, I love it. And I used the stock lens that comes with it for the majority of these photographs. There's one or two that are from the body cap lens, which is awful, but I'll save that for another video. So first of all we went to Valletta. There was a market on, it's a beautiful sort of busy town with lots of tourists but lots of locals as well. And it was the most awful lighting I could ever have wished for, because we went smack bang in the middle of the day to catch the market. So it was incredibly bright, not a cloud in the sky, and so I had to get a little bit inventive with my photographs. The harsh light really can be a challenge, but there are ways and means of using it to your advantage. I tried to find some really interesting harsh shadows and incorporate them into the photographs. And I played a lot with framing and using the architecture and really showing off the blinding bright sort of place that I was in. I have no doubt that a lot of these photographs probably would have been better in sort of the magic hour, but sometimes when you're out and about in the real world not doing photographs as the main sort of point of the holiday, sometimes you just gotta make do. So under the harsh lighting circumstances I do think I quite like some of these. Next, and please kill me if this pronunciation's terrible, we went to a little fishing village called Slok. I think that's how you say it, but I don't know. And my mother-in-law, right, we went with my mum, my mother-in-law and my auntie. My mother-in-law is like a Malta expert, and she was like, oh, there's not much there, just a little fishing village. It was the most jaw-droppingly beautiful place of the entire blooming holiday. Just a fishing village. There was little boats everywhere, the water was so blue. We found these beautiful little dogs in the little boats, and I took lots of photographs of those. And just the whole place was really relaxing, and I really want to go back there one day and spend more time there. Again, it was the wrong time of day to go, so it was quite harsh, and even though it wasn't quite as bad as in Valletta, it wasn't ideal in terms of light. One thing that I noticed was the colours were so bold. The water is so green, all the boats are so bright red or bright blue, and everything was just saturated, in your face kind of colours. So I thought it would be interesting to challenge myself a little bit and try and capture more muted colours. So I took these with the idea of taking the colours out and just trying to work on the composition and the symmetry and the balance in the frames rather than relying on the colours too much. And I think that sort of draws your eye to the subjects a little bit, and it's a little bit more interesting way to portray this little town. If you stick the name into Google, all of the photographs are very saturated, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It is literally what it looks like in real life. I just wanted to put my own spin on it. Also, best droney of the holiday. On one of the days we went to the tiny island off the coast of Malta called Gozo. You take a little ferry over there, and then there's little parks, beaches, loads of diving spots. Really beautiful little island. Again, another place I want to go back and explore more. Again, we didn't go at the right time of day. And the added challenge of what we did here is I chose in my infinite wisdom to choose Gozo, of all places, to be the place that I would test out the body cap lens. You know, the f8 constant manual focus 20 quid body cap lens. Not sure what I was thinking with that one. But never mind. Luckily it was so blooming bright that the flaws in the lens weren't too bad, though it is very softer on the edges. One of the parks there was great. Again, I used the harsh shadows for some symmetry and to make things sort of have repetitions through the frame and leading lines. And the lovely little bridge with the love heart was really picturesque. It looked like maybe somewhere out of Miami or something. It was really, really nice and an interesting little place. Back at the hotel, literally from the balcony, while we were waiting to go out together for dinner, I managed to get one or two interesting shots from there. One was the opposite building, and the light was making interesting shadows, and I really like the repetition, and it's a good, just solid architecture shot. And then the other one was sort of an abstract shot of pointing straight down, looking at the road, waiting for the right combination of people to walk past, and making a little bit of an abstract photograph from the road. Now, it wasn't all midday baking madness. I did manage to catch two sunsets. One was in Valletta Bay, which was just gorgeous. I managed to take the drone up, and we had some really nice old architecture across the water, and the lighting was really pleasing. I managed to get this drone panorama as well, which I think is one of the best panorama drone shots / drone photos I've ever taken. I really like it. Wouldn't have worked half as well in the sort of midday sun. The other sunset was where we were staying, again pronunciation, Bujiba. It was threatening to just be cloudy and go out with a whimper, but then by the end it did manage to sort of make the sky glow, and it was worth the wait sitting on the rocks waiting to see how it would develop. I got an interesting time lapse, which is my first ever holy grail kind of time lapse, where it was going for over an hour and it turned out pretty cool. And again, I went panorama mad, but can you blame me? It was such an interesting spot. Usually when I do have my drone, I do use it primarily for video, but it is a fantastic photography tool. I love the top-down shots, and I really took the time to frame this one at the little fishing village to try and get the water, the little boats, and also the street. And I got a couple of others with the portrait mode in the gimbal camera that I'm really proud of. I really need to use Mavis more for photographs as well as video. It's just so much fun to fly her around and see what you can see. You may have noticed from this trip that I have stepped slightly away from my usual bold teal and orange sort of style. And I think I'm toying with some other styles for the time being. Once you've used so much saturation for so long, it's nice to strip it back and be a little bit more minimal, I think. So let's see how long I ride this wave before I get bored of this style. Which photographs did you like best? And if you've been to Malta, is there anywhere that I missed because I was only there for a few days? I definitely want to go back, and I definitely want to explore more. Thank you as always for watching. I'm going to do a GX80 review separately, and a Crane M review separately, and a body cap lens review separately. This was just more about the photography that I managed to achieve while I was there. See you soon!